Hey everybody, here we are with another match in the IS-3. This one's on Stalingrad, and it's a tier 9 game. Now, despite the fact it's a tier 9 game, I'm in an IS-3, and I'm also really bad. So I decided I'd play this one pretty aggressively, and head down the east side, up towards the old mill, and sort of play around in the area by the mill and Pavlov's house, which is what I usually do on this map anyway. One of our 1390s makes a very true statement. If you can't reroll for purple, don't bother rerolling in the first place. It makes you look like a shitter. If your reroll turns out to be green or blue, you may as well be a 45%er because nobody's going to take you seriously anyway. Just a pro tip there for any would-be rerollers. If you do happen to be a 45%er right now and you say, oh well, I want to at least not be red, you may as well just work on your main account stats and be like Nevzing, who has now got stats I think nearly as good as mine, if not as good or better than mine. Excuse me, despite starting as a 43%er. 12T buzzes past, I get a quick shot into him. I'm not going to chase him all the way around, so I stay here behind, geographically speaking, what should be... No, never mind. Disregard. This map always messes me up because the way the buildings are set up is a little odd. I'm used to that building being more destroyed, and of course that's Pavlov's house in front of me to my right. And then Zabolotny's house on the far side shouldn't have been that destroyed. It's like Wargaming got the buildings in the square backwards or something. Anyway, roll out. Shoot the E75 in the back, and then, oh god, here comes the 4502B. Now, he's not actually paying attention to me at the moment, he's completely oblivious. So I get a quick shot into his side. He might have really strong front armor, but his side armor is squishy. And then I decide to try my luck and see if he's battleshipping again. However, at this point, it looks like he may actually be coming for me, and so I start to move around behind Pavlov's house, and sure enough, he is chasing me. Not really a smart 4502 driver, because it means I can just kite him around this building and pop him in the tracks as soon as he comes out, like that. I do take a shot from him, and then I've got a T49 in front of me, which is kind of scary, but I chance it and get away with it. He seems to be shooting heat, and 0 damages my track. Finish him off, and then wait for the 4502 to roll out and get popped in the track again. Perfect. He does hit his repair kit, but it's too late. He gets finished off by my teammates behind me, who have now defeated the E75. This side of the map is well and truly dealt with. The enemy do still have a Tiger 2 and a Wheezy 132 down on the beach, but they're utterly surrounded. There's nothing really they can do except wait to die, and down goes the Wheezy 132 there. So I take an opportunity shot on the T30 and pick it up, and then one of the 1390s runs ahead to try and finish him off. I go to snapshot it just in case he didn't finish it. I didn't want it popping him, but he did manage to finish the job. And then both 1390s dive on the Tiger 2. By now the first one's on reload, so I help out, and the second finishes the Tiger 2 off. And sorry, that wasn't a Tiger 2 on the beach, that was a Tiger 1. I get a quick shot into the back of the enemy 1390 there, as ours chase him around. Finishes off one of them, but the second 1390 and the 2801 are hot on his trail, as is the scent, oddly enough. I get a quick shot in there, very lucky that hit. I was sure it would miss. And he makes a mad dash for the relative safety of the north end of the map. This time, the snapshot gods are not with me, and I miss him. And in fact, he's actually able to get away. Cuts across here. Now, I wasn't sure if I could shoot through this or not, but I decided to try my luck anyway. Not only were my reflexes painfully slow there, but it turns out that is actually a solid barricade. You can't fire through it. Doesn't matter anyway, because our 2801 and our 12244 have been sitting on cap and guaranteed us the win. So this is one of those cases where playing really stupidly and aggressively actually works out in your favour. You just need some players who are even more stupid and aggressive than you. That 4502 basically threw his tank away by chasing me around a building, particularly after my teammates dealt with the E75 and could lend me a hand. And it's also a textbook example of how not to play the 4502. A lot of people just do not account for the fact it has a rear-mounted turret, and so they'll drive the entire front half of their tank out of cover and realize they still can't shoot you, so they have to go all the way out into the open. And if you do that in a 4502, you're just going to get killed. What he should have done is side-scraped. Well, what he should have done was just not chase me in the first place. He should have side-scraped off the corner and forced me to try and come around to him. And if he'd positioned himself well enough on the corner, he could have side-scraped to either direction based on whether I tried to circle him or come straight at him. But, of course, he didn't do that. He played like an idiot, and he paid for it. Anyway, and that's about all I got to say on this one. Wasn't really much else to it. Pretty standard game on Stalingrad. This is generally the strat I tend to roll with heavies and mediums alike. I don't like going to the west because it tends to become too choked up, particularly with heavies and high tier TDs trading shots down the open roads. And the east side along the beach is also a bit too open. I do head there in mediums sometimes, particularly ones with gun depression, but usually I will make an aggressive push into the 7 line just to see what's there and see if I can get shots on the enemy tanks across the plaza. Because quite often you can shoot from the buildings in the center of it out towards the edges. In any case, thanks for watching. As ever, I wish you the best of luck in the field, and I'll see you on the next one.